scheduled broadcast after that exciting live match.
Absolutely. That was a fun one, but we are now moving on to Yglini versus Plastikqs.
Yeah, both of these players both did really solid. I believe Yglini placed third in Oak, which is which is really impressive considering the caliber of players in there. And then Plastikqs, I believe, was in silver, possibly bronze, but I either way performed like middle of the road in that. But either of those divisions are going to be stacked. How are they doing in their divisions though? I believe Plastikqs is doing reasonably. I'm not quite sure about this group.
Uh, as far as I can tell, this is similar to the last one, but pumped up a bit more. Pofke is almost certainly going to come out with first in the division. Meg, despite being quite solid for a new player, is very likely to come out last in the division, which means it's a battle for second place between Yglini and Plastikqs. So this is a pretty big game for both of them.
Yeah, and it looks like Plastikqs is playing Pofke week 3, so that's going to be a really tough matchup for him. If he's expecting a loss here, this means that he really needs to pull out a win right now against Yglini in order to probably lock in second or have a chance at getting second.
Either way, it's going to be a good match. Opening things up on Ballroom, as is the way we do. It's going to be Plastikqs on the spy side of things to open the match. Yglini on Sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Starting off with a nice early flirt, and maybe we can even accompany this with an early book grab.
Oh, we're not just a book grab, but a microfilm grab. It's a white test at the bookcase, but with a lot of cover from the seduction target. Blue film is in pocket, and I think it came off clean. That was the buggingest path I have ever seen, but no bug happened. We've got blue film in pocket and 34% on the flirt.
Yeah, thankfully no highlight there, but that was really fortunate for us that we didn't get highlight there, because getting this second microfilm is going to be pretty difficult if we get highlight. So gotta avoid that highlight. Super solid BB though to start off.
Absolutely. 3 lowlights on the contact and a mission done. That is some pretty solid stuff. That's pretty much what you want on a map like this. Back in the conversation now for the second flirt. It is another white test for 68%.
Yeah, it looked like Plastikqs there was trying to set up for a type of bug, but unfortunately the Amba bailed. Maybe we can get a reverse bug here though. Looks like we attempted it, didn't quite take. Amba was not kind enough to get that close to us.
2 minutes left to play. Sitting in conversation at the seduction target, waiting on a timer flirt.
Yeah, not much to say here. This is a good spot to reverse hook because we have such good cover on our left and right arms that our arms will basically blend in if the Amba comes by us. Just gotta sit and wait back for our opportunity.
There's the flirt getting finished up. There's the bug attempt. Oh, it wasn't pretty. Came in a little bit wide and had to readjust on the way in. But it doesn't look like Yglini saw it. I got there eventually.
I
That
think
name is hard.
it is. I think this laser is telling. Yeah, I think this is a smart move by Plastikqs. The laser didn't really come over us at all. There wasn't really any suspicion, but now it does for this statue.
Oh, it's a red test on the first inspect, so we're not going to be able to get everything done here.
Yeah, we'd have to hit a green or just risk the 3 cycle.
It is going to be a 3 cycle. There's the inspects done. That's the last mission. Yglini not looking like she wants to take the shot, holding behind the pillar, but the time runs out, and Plastikqs salvages game number 1.
Yeah, a bit of a weird bug there. Had to adjust, realizing that he wasn't going to be close enough, so smartly corrects, and then realized that the laser didn't even suspect him for the bug. So instead of just going with maybe the green microfilm would be the more obvious play, decides that the soft tail finish is the best way to go. And then yeah, Yglini didn't think he had bug. Otherwise, with contact and inspect done, you have to make that call whether or not that character has bug.
Yeah, but that is game number 1 in the books. Plastikqs able to make it happen and is now sitting on the sniper side. Yglini on the spy in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yglini playing the best character, playing Twin. Just going to take some AI control.
Yeah, relatively slow start except for that first flirt, which was a pretty nice one. Green test for 47%.
Yeah, and even though this conversation with the DA is pretty small, we can sit here, wait for some time for it to build back up, and then take our nice BB. Might as well just sit here and wait. Got a couple other people entering conversation, but so far, 5 lowlights isn't that great. Might as well wait for a couple more people to join.
Absolutely. Wisely waiting out the ambassador, not going for any crazy bug shenanigans there. Wasn't a great time for it. Still hanging out with the double agent. Not seeing anything yet.
Yeah, looks like we might have been waiting for our ST or just waiting for conversations to get better, and so far, nothing's happened yet. I mean, the conversations have to get better eventually, so and there's no reason to really go try to maybe pick up a highlight chasing your ST. So Yglini just willing to sit and wait for his ST to make the next move.
Double agent steps away, 2 minutes left on the clock. This has not been the start Yglini wants, but on a map like this, you can absolutely still make things happen.
Yeah, and now finally our ST has settled down, so it looks like we'll be able to get our second flirt, put ourselves into a nice position. We are a little bit behind though, so we might end up going for a purloin. It's getting a little late to do print.
Second flirt comes off for 81%. Any flirt will now do. Just about.
We did reject the drink, so it looks like Yglini has something else in mind, although I don't know what it could be. Besides like a bug into inspect, this is looking pretty tough for Yglini to get stuff done.
Yeah, things really aren't lining up very well. Minute to play and still no mission completions, no fingerprints, no inspects. This is looking rough as we step into center statue to try to get something on the board.
Yeah, honestly, you might even need to just swap here because you're so far behind. You're going to pick up a highlight here for the center statue. It's the most suspicious thing in the world doing it this late, too.
Yeah, it's not good. Stepping into a conversation with the double agent once more. Now we finally get to take it.
Banana bread.
Contact comes off, should be a pair of lowlights. Wheels and Irish. Purloin comes off as well. We're finally moving, but it's not enough. Plastikqs is on top of the guest list. The shot comes off, and Plastikqs finds himself up by 2.
Yeah, Yglini actually did a really nice job recovering from that. He was in a really tough position, and honestly, if he hits a green purloin there, I don't think his chances are that bad of getting away with that. So, in that kind of position where you just had a really rough start, DAs didn't really line up for you until the very end. Not a bad played game from Yglini at all.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Sometimes,
Obviously, it would have been nice to have a bit of a better pacing in the early game, but as far as late rushes go, if we hit that green one, that would have been pretty strong. Either way, it's 2-0 in Plastikqs' favor as he steps into the spy side of Courtyard. Yglini on the sniper side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
starting off 2-0 and with a character that can bug, I would not be surprised to see Plastikqs go for that kind of bug.
Ooh, very early time ad coming out of Plastikqs on a white test, so Bit of extra time to work with.
Yeah, especially in Courtyard, that's going to be really huge. Time ads honestly have the most impact here because you're going to get more people going to statues. Almost everybody highlights for statues on this map, so time ads have a big impact as long as the sniper can't get lowlights off of them.
51% on the first flirt is a nice statistic to see. Plastikqs wisely not going for the race on that briefcase has a pretty solid redirect out of it, and is now in conversation with the double agent.
Yeah, and from Plastik's perspective, this looks pretty nice. Not
From
too bad
any
at all.
perspective, this looks pretty nice. One low light available, and that is it.
Yeah, in Courtyard especially, that's really, really well done. And now we're in a pretty decent position with the time ad especially. We're pretty well ahead on pace of the time ad. Maybe you want to go for more. Looks like that might be what we go for here.
Absolutely. We've got the one mission done with the contact and half a flirt. Now we have also picked up half a fingerprint to work with as well. And back into conversation with the seduction target for possibly the second half of our flirt. It
Yeah, and we
is as well as we hit the green test. That's two missions done with 2 minutes and 20 left to play.
yeah, and we as we were returning the briefcase, we saw the Amba take a drink. And thankfully Smallman rejected for us. So this is just going to be a nice clean fingerprintable drink.
Oh my god, this is such a pretty looking game from Plastikqs so far. Everything going so nicely. 3 missions done, no statue visit yet. We can just finish off this drink nice and casual, step into statues at about 1 minute and 30 left to play, and call it a night.
Yeah, you want to avoid doing the statue too late. It might get the sniper suspicions up that they've missed something and that they're desperate to shoot at the last second. So yeah, I would agree. 115, 130 is a pretty solid timing to go. No one really expects a finish at around this time. So
There's the second sip. Into statues we go, arrives at minute 26. Drink gets finished off. Highlight for statue visit. That tells a lot. Usually it means they're not going to shoot if they're bothering to highlight.
yeah, Plastik's just gonna 2 cycle his way to victory. Yglini not even looking at Plastik's. Very nice, well played game from Plastik's. That fingerprintable drink was so big, and
Yeah.
obviously Yglini just not on top of it at all. Those prints can really be devastating if the sniper's not aware of them.
Yeah, that was just a beautiful spy game coming out of Plastikqs. Finds himself up 3-0. Very strong play so far. That Yglini is going to have to find some way to answer. Starting out on the spy side of Courtyard in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yglini here with a loss. I think he needs to go perfect in order to make this comeback.
Yep. In order to take the win, have to win out at this point. That's the problem with sets that are this short.
Yeah, one slip up and it's all over for you. And on Courtyard Spy, it can be difficult to find that, but let's see if Yglini can pull something out here. Just waiting for his ST to settle down somewhere so he can chase.
Very, very early contact came off, though. 2 lowlights is a very strong. It's a pretty strong contact for this map.
Yeah, I'd say 2 is about the average you're going to get. Um, you can get even better. I've seen perfect contacts, but they're much harder to come by. With 4 CCs, the main thing is making sure that both SDAs are in. So usually you want to wait for a reasonable amount of people to be out. Probably about 4 is the max you'd want to allow on this.
Yep. And if you see a good opportunity, you may as well take it, even if it's that early in the game. Stepping in for the first flirt brings us to 48%, which is not in range for a 2 flirt, just barely.
Unfortunately, couldn't get any closer. Maybe we could have taken one more step in. We would have been in range to bug and to flirt, but I don't think Yglini was worried about that. I think he was more worried about just, hey, let's get some flirt progress. My ST's been at windows and statues this whole game.
Yeah, I think not trying to muscle in any closer was the correct play on Yglini's part. From now, we may as well just take a little bit of a distance on the next two flirts so we don't look too suspicious about it. But time is starting to tick down. Minute and 15 to play and no statue visit yet.
Yeah, this is looking awfully familiar to the ballroom game. Although going to statues here is going to be significantly less suspicious than it is going to be on ballroom.
Timer flirt comes off. We're up at 96% at this point, so the worst flirt you can possibly get is 17%, so we're plenty above that. Purloin coming off. There it goes on a white test. I don't think it's been noticed yet. It has been on screen. There's the highlight. So it probably has been. Just takes the shot. Plastikqs has already guaranteed a draw, and we're only halfway in.
Yeah, again there, Yglini, when you don't hit a green test on the Purloin, it's going to be really punishing, especially on Courtyard. Although it wasn't bad. I mean, the Ambo is on the opposite side. If he hits the green, the reject's actually out of sight. So I think that was again not a bad play by Yglini. But when you don't hit green tests, and especially with Purloin, if you fail to hit the green on that, that means almost always you're going to die.
Yeah, this has just been a little bit of mismanaged time by Yglini and some very strong play across the board by Plastikqs, who is now on the spy side of Library with 4 match points in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
No time add from this start, although I think again on Library it could be pretty nice since statue highlights are going to be common. And on this map, more time for you to do microfilm, to do for characters to get
Green
inspects,
Purloin!
prints.
Early Green Purloin in the conversation, immediately steps away from it, back in towards Toby as the Purloin comes off, though.
Yeah, and an SDA took Glini's reaction here. Takes 2 lowlights, but nothing else. I don't think he saw that at all. At least Plastikqs got away with it, although sadly we were not a lowlight. This game isn't going to be quite as free.
Well, now we're starting to see some lowlights coming off as Yglini is narrowing down the party based on what he saw from that Purloin. Flirt is done in 2 as well. So another fast start from Plastikqs, although this time Yglini has some compensation. Quite a
Yeah,
bit of compensation, in fact. Over half the party lowlit.
yeah, really nice lowlights, just really slow and steady, just trying to remember who was where and then taking those position-based lowlights. So very nicely done there by Yglini De Niro.
Still 3 minutes to play, and 2 missions done. Going for briefcase now to start off the fingerprints.
But
But
it's dead.
that is a dead briefcase. There is nothing to play for there.
He's dead, Jim. Yeah, unfortunately the spy probably thought there was a print there, just wasn't aware it was dead, and now might even have suspicion for prints. So to the sniper, now you might have to do even 3 prints in order to make some mission progress. This is looking kind of tough for Plastikqs, actually. I don't know what other mission you can really go for here.
Yeah. That used a lot of time as well. The briefcase and the movements around it. So now we've got 2 minutes and 10 to play. As we're in conversation with the double agent, there's the contact coming off. Few more lowlights coming down. The party is down to 5 with 1 highlight, and Plastikqs is it.
Yeah, I think this game is going to come down to if Yglini will bring people back up if he thinks he made a mistake. Which I guess it's certainly possible, but if Yglini is confident in the remaining people he has left, I don't think Plastikqs has a chance here, especially with that very nice highlight for the real banana bread.
Another one down, and we've got 4 remaining, not lowlit. It's between Plastikqs, Disney, the Twin, and Sick. Plastikqs now heading in to center statues. Has to be incredibly suspicious. Yglini just takes the shot, gets himself on the board. It's 4-1.
Yeah, I was super confident in his low lights, and yeah, just the real BB into center statues was enough for him. Not willing to risk that Plastikqs might have gotten a bug by him at some point. So, solid shot by Yglini, all in all, and a nice way to start a comeback.
And usually, 4-1 sounds like a very comebackable situation, but because of just how short these matches are, it's we're down to it already. Yglini has to win out to force a draw in 3 games to go to make it happen, starting from the spy side of library in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Certainly doable though. On library, you have so much spy agency. The sniper can really only see a third of the map at a time, and with some good party awareness, you can make some really solid spy plays overall. Let's see what Yglini can do. He's been playing really slow. I wonder if he'll pick up the pace now that he has 5 missions to do.
We shall see. Opening things up with 51% on the flirt. Had to run all the way across map to do it, but did in fact get it done.
Yglini so far has been playing pretty slow, falling behind, and then kind of been forced to go into statues and hurtling towards the end of the game just because he had no other options. I like to see him get some early mission progress so that he's not forced into those bad options late into the game.
Maybe get a microfilm in pocket, an early fingerprint maybe, just so you have some outs late game. The bug coming through into conversation, it was visible, and it's now highlit. Yglini just made this game very, very difficult for himself, although he does get the 2 flirt, so there's that.
Yeah, unfortunately there we wrong armed it when we didn't want to wrong arm it. We just wanted our right arm to just go right into the amba, going to be nice and invisible, and maybe we'll get credited with the path, but nothing else. But unfortunately the left arm kind of stuck out. Gave
Yeah.
a little wave to the sniper, so this is looking pretty difficult for Yglini to win. He's going to need to basically catch Plastikqs off guard with some off-camera stuff, maybe a purling off screen or a swap off screen. I'm not quite sure how Yglini's going to win this one.
Yeah, it would have been a very nice bug coming in if not for the accidental wrong arm. Yglini now very much under the gun with 2.5 minutes to play, 2 missions done. Trying to figure out where to go next, trying to figure out some sort of plan for the rest of this game.
Ideally, you'd like to have a setup where Toby and Amber are on the same side, and then you can get some cheese by, like you can snag a book or you can get a statue, swap and run. You need to make some sort of aggro play here in order for this to work.
Under 2 minutes to play now. No aggro play as of yet. Yglini just really, really trying hard to shed suspicion.
Yeah, the other option here is fake. This CC might be too big, Yglini might not want to risk it, but faking is an option that can maybe lower some heat.
Well, takes an innocent drink. The time continues to tick. We're down to 1.5 minutes. This mission deficit is starting to look almost insurmountable.
Yeah, again, not sure what we can do here, but I think Yglini understands that he's suspicious, but is just kind of feels like he's forced into this awful position and has no option.
Oh yeah, the bug was just seen too well. Soon as we step into center statue, the shot comes off. Plastikqs has guaranteed a win, but Yglini still has something to play for on the last map. It is currently 5-1. Plastikqs getting ready to jump into the spy side of high rise, any 3 of 5. And Yglini might be able to get something done on the tie breaks at least. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Early flirt for Plastikqs at the green bookcase, picking up a green book as well. Won't be able to do anything with said green book because transfer is off along with swap and purloin. But it is an excuse to move around a bit.
Yeah, an excuse can be very nice to have on high rise, especially with flirts. Oftentimes you're going to be 3 or 4 flirting, and you need you or your ST to move around. And a book is a great reason to be moving.
Indeed, indeed.
Also to
Wouldn't
note,
mind seeing him go put this book back and go in for the flirt afterwards. Instead, just goes for the flirt straight away.
this is a little more aggressive. You can flirt here, then you go put the book back, then you return. The only problem is if Yglini can possibly flirt pair this. He did see General and Smallman at the bookshelves earlier, and then if Plastikqs returns straight back into Smallman, that might just raise some alarm bells. But besides that, this way to reset the flirt cooldown timer while being completely innocent is pretty nice.
Well, it was a white flirt we got to bring us to 66%. Just now, we've put away the green book, and now we're heading to statues of all places. Center statues, in fact, so that makes us incredibly suspicious moving forward. Wait, a fingerprintable center statue? Plastikqs, you're a madman!
Do you want the something more suspicious than a center statue 2 cycle? A fingerprintable center statue 2 cycle. That's you don't see that every day. But it looks like
You don't. My oh my, that is the biggest highlight I have probably ever seen with a minute and a half left to play. This could be a silent game if we play our cards right.
indeed it could. The thing is where is the Amba gonna go? That's going to be the key here. This briefcase is bad by Teal, so we don't really want to go for that. But we need Amba to do something. If he just keeps on sitting at windows, we're going to be out of luck.
Well, we've got a little bit of time to work with, although this is not going to be... Oh, I think we actually might have gotten in range for three flirt. It's going to be real tight. We'll see what happens when the flirt comes off. It is a white, and it was just barely in range. So the flirt is done. One more mission, and we want it. We really want it to be that fingerprint. But Amba is not cooperating.
Come on, Amba, set down the briefcase. You know you want to.
30 seconds. Briefcases down at windows. Plastikqs is getting ready to give chase. 20 seconds. Lining up at the window pad to go for the briefcase. 15 seconds as we step away from the pad. It's not going to be in time. There is going to be some overtime here. It is 6 seconds remaining as we go for the end of it. Not going to get it off in time. Already the shot is lined up. Fire comes off on overtime. Yglini might just be able to get this last sweep and get a little bit more towards those tiebreakers if he can find a way to win this next game on Spy.
Well done by Yglini to recognize that it was going to lead to no T and that he had plenty of time to take the shot there towards the end. Very nicely done. I think Plastikqs did all that he really could there at the end. Any other opportunities the Amba gave him. So
yeah, I think that was played about as well as it could have been, but it just didn't quite line up for him. And Yglini has brought it back to 2-5, going into the last game of High Rise from the Spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And now, even though we've seen Yglini's playstyle not really work at all this set, 3 Spy losses,
This is the
I
map
think
for
this
it.
absolutely. I was just about to say, like this sort of slow play style into a late, like less than a minute mission completion can be very, very effective. So maybe Yglini's slow play not going to work on the 4 of 8s and 5 of 8s, but on a higher ace 3-5 where you can sit and wait. Maybe this is the opportunity for Yglini to pick up a win and make it a respectable 5-3 scoreline.
We shall see how this plays out moving forward. Oh, I was a little bit worried about the distance that the seduction target showed up, but Yglini able to hit the green. That's 34% on that first flirt, even at a distance.
Half print on the drink right now. We can go for this. We're going to be offered soon? No, not quite. Well, the fingerprint opportunity for the drink is gone.
Ambassador comes in to say hi.
Ah, we're actually in range for a Twitch bug here with Irish especially. That could be very effective. Looks like Yglini didn't want to even get suspicion for that type of bug and just decides to play it cool.
Time is starting to tick. 2 minutes and 10 on the clock as Yglini enters back into conversation, again at a distance from the seduction target. Again hits the green test. It's up to 76%. So as long as we get a pretty reasonable next flirt, we're going to get it done in 3.
Yeah, and this range is definitely enough for 24%, so would not be surprised to see Yglini sit here and wait for this last flirt to.
And the end of red.
Double agent drops in to say hi, and Yglini picks up that contact. 1 low light given off, which is pretty solid. But unfortunately, suspected double agent not in the other conversations, so.
Yeah, we've seen that situation happen a lot. Now down to 2.
Yeah, 2 people in for the real. Not what Yglini wanted to see. Very unfortunate.
Positive here is that Teal did take a printable drink, so if Plastikqs is on top of that and Teal picks up another print somewhere towards the end of the game, we might see a bullet.
We might just. Flirt is now done with a minute left to play. What's the last mission going to be? It's not going to be print. There's no time for it now. It's going to be the bug, but it's not quite in range! Ambassador stopped walking just a pixel too early, and the bug doesn't take. It wasn't seen, but it doesn't take.
Now how do we finish? There's no way we can finish here. We need this bug. Amba gives it to us, but we don't take the reverse bug.
It was the same lineup. We could have gotten it again on the second run at it. The shot comes off! Plastic takes it on Teal for the second print off of the briefcase. And Yglini manages to salvage another sweep out of the game to finish 3-5.
Yeah, I mean, Teal was done, right? The only way you'd be able to actually catch that is by tracking flirts. Teal stayed in the CC for the entire game until the very end when she went to go pick up this briefcase. So, unless you're tracking flirts, this shot is honestly completely justified. Real BB into prints on one that was pretty innocuous with the drink print, and then one at the end if you were desperate as a spy. So, completely reasonable shot by Plastikqs there.
Absolutely. And Yglini, even with a very rough start going down 3-0, fights back to a very respectable final scoreline. It wasn't a draw, but it was pretty close to. As we move on to our last